check. I think it's un-American. I'm sure Mark Schauer is all for it. And it goes against the principles of the secret ballot. Somebody wanted to work. Anytime that any new factory, I believe, that's opened in this country in the last, I don't know how many years, but they've all been in right-to-work states because it's more business-friendly, obviously.
It's cheaper.
And they're cheaper, yeah.
Because I'll tell you, I worked in the union and non-union places, and I'm still getting a union pension check. The ones that are non-union, they don't even tell them I'm number one.
Well, I believe that you shouldn't put the handcuffs on people if they want to work. You shouldn't put the handcuffs on manufacturing business owners if they want to be in Michigan.
The comment about the right to work thing. As a business owner, can anyone in here imagine me charging somebody? They have to pay me before I hire them? That's basically what forced unionization is. You have to pay dues in order to have a job. Pure and simple.
It's just like manpower on the temporary.
Sure.
They take part of your check.
That's what I'm saying. They have to pay the union in order to have a job. What if an employer said, I'll pay you $20 an hour, but you have to pay me $1 an hour back in order to keep your job. That'd be totally illegal. I'd go to jail or I'd be out of business, but the unions can get away with it and people seem to be happy with it.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere that unionization in Michigan is only about 20% of the workforce.
Well, that's because there's anybody left.
Yeah. I guess my point is if you did open up to be a rate
The reason Michigan was so heavily unionized is because of the southeastern part of the state.
Yeah,
And that's just about gone.
right,
Where you don't have very much unionization.
right. But you still have the machine, the political machine of the unions that have a lot of power.
Well, the unfair cloud of not working under the, a lot of laws.
Well, one thing that I think, this is just an observation I made after the whole bankruptcy rig job of the auto industry was the union guys, the big shots of the union were put on the board, and then they shut down a ton of factories that next day. So the rank and file are out of work. I don't know how that benefited the rank and file. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question that's entirely different than these.
I gave you a straight answer on that one.
When did I grew up thinking and hearing that the United States was a breadbasket of the world. And now China's feeding us. Why? Why are we importing food from
Yeah.
China?
I look at a lot of things through the national security lens, and the fact that China owns most of our debt and has a lot of our manufacturing base now, and now we're starting to give them a lot of our agricultural base scares me, because China's not our friend. And the fact that they do own our debt, and we're continuing with this healthcare bill, and cap and trade, and other sorts of things to load onto that debt, Chinese have started saying, hey, I don't know if we're going to keep buying your debt because, we're not too confident as we were in America before. Well, the president just said, well, we'll just have someone else come in and buy it. You know who that someone else is? It's the Treasury Department, so we're buying our own debt. Either way, though, I agree with you. One thing before I was thinking about running was my wife and I, my wife loves animals, so do I, and there were tainted dog food and cat food that was coming into the country, killed a lot of animals. And then I remember reading in the Wall Street Journal more recently that there's this plastic substance called melamine, and it mimics protein in milk. And the Chinese were putting it in their dairy products. Killed 6 of their own kids. They knew it. They knew they were doing it. And they still do it anyway. And if they don't care about their own people like that, they sure as heck don't care about us. And if anything happened between us and Red China, and it's possible it could, if we're relying upon them for our manufacturing base and our foodstuffs, we're in trouble. We have the most diverse crop in Michigan outside of California, in all 50 states. It's soon to be our #1 industry. So we have a breadbasket right here in Michigan. It's